Thank you so much for joining us today for our first live session of the Climate Advocacy Learning Journey. With our live sessions, and especially for this first one, we always like to start with an icebreaker. Just to break the ice a little bit and also to get to know you a little bit better. And for today's session, and in line with International Women's Day, which is this coming Saturday, we are wondering who you would like to have a virtual or maybe even a real coffee date with, if possible, when looking at the following climate advocates or activists. We have selected a few, but there's many more, and maybe there is somebody within your local community or your country who you find very inspiring and would like to have a meeting with. Then you can also just name somebody who's not on the screen. So if you can please put your answers in the chat, then we can have a look at that. Margarita, it's gone bigger again. I don't know if you can adjust it to making it slightly smaller. Yeah, now we can see number 7 and
You mean, I have a question.
Sure.
You mean that we have to select from the persons on the screen, and then I can have the meeting with them direct?
No, you cannot have a meeting with them now, but in an ideal scenario, who would you like to have a coffee
Okay.
with,
Okay.
if that would be possible?
It's just an ideal situation.
Would be amazing, but unfortunately we don't have them with us today.
Yeah, and not even in future.
No, I'm afraid not, though we have some really great climate activists and advocates who will join us in the live sessions of the technical modules.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Of course, you can also please introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know who you are, where you're from. And let us know who you would like to meet for coffee, if possible. And this can also be somebody who's not listed here, but somebody you find inspiring. I see number 3, Christiana Figueres, Hungary, Greta Thunberg. There's a good variation of different people, so that's nice. Thank you for joining, Vanessa, at a very early hour, as you're joining from Canada. And of course, a huge welcome as well to all other colleagues. And let us know who you would like to meet for a coffee, if you could. Who you find inspiring within the climate space. I have to say, I don't know all of these women myself. Maybe you do. Nadia, sorry to put you on the spot, but is there anybody you would like to have a coffee with if you could?
Good question. I guess if we ask people the question, we should also be able to answer it ourselves. I would go for Greta.
Yeah. I guess she is well known, at least in Europe, where we are based. So more people are saying Greta. And Margarita is saying Berta. Yeah, why would you like to meet with Greta Thunberg? If I may call you out.
Yeah, no problem. I honestly don't know most of the names, but I do know Greta Thunberg. She has been, of course, a bit active and well known. And I just wonder how somebody so young would be already so passionate about something. So that would be interesting to discuss with her.
For sure. Yes, thank you. And Ilona, why did you pick Vanessa?
Hi. Maybe just because her book, A Bigger Picture, is on my reading list for forever, and so this would be a shortcut to just talk about it with her.
Let's get it from first hand. Okay, anybody else who would like to share who they would like to have a coffee date with, if they could? Well, hopefully this course, this training will inspire you to find out more about these amazing women and others within the climate space. And maybe your picture can be added there at some point. Let's see. All right, let's get started. Margarita, can you go to the next slide? Okay, before we really dive into this live session, just a few housekeeping rules and reminders. Please keep your microphone on mute. And if you have a question, you can raise your hand on Zoom, which I think nowadays you can do because they moved it. Is it under the React button?
Yeah, through the React, the
Yeah.
reactions. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So you can use the React button, or of course, open your mic and feel free to speak up in case we don't see it. We love it when you can have your camera on, especially when you're in breakout groups. Of course, if there's low internet connectivity or any other reasons, you can of course always turn it off as well, if only temporarily. We will share the recording. The session is being recorded, and the slides after the live session. So you can always go back to it. And if for some reason you cannot join one of the live sessions, then you can also listen to the recording. Next slide, please, Margarita. A little bit about CARE and our experience with climate change before we will properly introduce ourselves, and there is also time for all of you to introduce yourself. But we have quite a history at CARE on working towards climate change and adaptation. So already, in 2002, CARE Bangladesh pioneered with a project called Reducing Vulnerability to Climate Change. And since then, we have, together with our partners, implemented 273 projects contributing to building climate resilience in over 61 countries. And over the past 20 years, we've developed quite some tools and participatory methods that we use for our adaptation projects. And we've also been involved in, many policy events, other climate-related conferences to advocate mostly on behalf of those most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, to improve things on their behalf. And currently, climate justice is one of our 6 impact areas for our 10-year strategy called CARE 2030, CARE Vision 2030. And it's mentioned here as well. We've been engaging in the UNFCCC processes continuously over more than a decade. And we're also pulling from our experience and from all the tools that we've developed for this online course. We have some participants who are not from CARE, but we think it's still also very relevant because I think we all operate in the same context. We think it's useful for anybody to learn about climate advocacy, especially in current times. Margarita, can you move to the next slide, please? Yes, thank you. So before going on, let me introduce myself properly. So my name is Diana Kakebeke. I'm joining you from the Netherlands today. I'm part of the CARE Climate Justice Center, which is a global team at CARE. And I'm leading the Care, Climate and Resilience Academy coordinator. So this is an online, well, an e-learning platform, which was launched 5 years ago. So we just had our 5th year anniversary, and brought to life as a tool to facilitate capacity sharing within care and also with our partners on climate justice and resilience. You find my contact details here. You can, of course, always reach out to me, especially if you are interested in organizing tailored trainings or courses, or if you have any ideas or suggestions for new partnerships. Next slide, please, Margarita, which shows Nadia. Nadia, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, so welcome everyone again to this learning journey. We've all been in touch before, but it's always very great to see your faces, so I get a face to the name as well. I'm the Climate Learning Officer. I'm also usually based in the Netherlands, now calling in from Morocco. And I work together with Diana at the Care, Climate and Resilience Academy. So for this learning journey, I'm your main contact person. So everything related to the logistics and the communications of this learning journey will be handled by me. And you can also reach out to me if you have any suggestions or improvements for this learning journey. And we're always very willing and able to listen to feedback and try to improve our learning experiences. You can reach me via email as written on the PowerPoint, but you can also shoot me a WhatsApp message as well as reach me via Curator. Over to you, Diana.
Yes, next slide, please, Margarita. An important colleague, also from the Care Climate Justice Center, is Marlene Achoki. She was going to try to join us today. I don't see her yet, I think. No, under the participants, but hopefully she can join us a little bit later. Otherwise, you will connect with her in module 1, but she is the Care Global Policy lead on climate justice. So she's our lead expert for the Care Climate Justice Center, but also for Care globally. And she will be joining us for some of the live sessions, and she has developed the content together with us. And then, not on the slides, but with us today is Margarita. Margarita, can you wave? Your camera is open. Do you quickly want to introduce yourself as well?
Sure. Well, hi, my name is Margarita, and I am the new intern in the Climate and Resilience Academy. So I will be working with Diana and Nadia and trying to help them out with all these courses and trainings. So of course you can feel free to reach me out again. Same as with Nadia and Diana. I guess in the following days you will receive emails probably with me in it, so you can have my email address as well. And very happy to be here with all of you and to have this important space to get more knowledge and share experiences. Thank you.
Thanks, Margarita. Next slide, please. Okay, if you could follow us and join us on Menti, you can either use the QR codes if you want to access it through your phone, or you can just click on the link that Nadia put in the chat just now, and you'll have to enter the code, maybe, or maybe not. Nadia, do you have the code as well? And can you put that in the chat? Or they don't need
Yes, I
to...
have it here. I'll just make my screen a bit bigger. I hope you can see it all right.
Yeah,
So this is the code. I can also put it in the chat. Yes, I put it in the chat right now.
Thank you. So please join us on menti.com either by clicking on the link in the chat and entering the passcode, or just use the QR code if you have your phone with you as well.
And yes, please, if you manage to log in, if you could click on the thumb up, so I know you're here. So I see 6 people already managed to join, so that's great.
We'll give it another minute before we start. Through Menti, we will be asking you a few questions again to get to know you a little bit better, because that is what this first live session is about, mostly. And also to go through some practical details. But if Menti doesn't work for you, then we will also just say out loud the questions, and then you can also put your answer in the chat. How many thumbs up do you already see, Nadia?
I see 9, and I know we're around 16, if I'm not mistaken, or 17 participants minus us. So we're looking for a number around 13, 14 participants.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can go to the question, and then people can still join us, of course. So firstly, we would be interested to learn from you where you're located. And you can just, well, you see a little, how to call it? Black pin that you can move around to the country where you're based. And that will give us just an idea of who's joining us in this training. Now, I can already see some pins.
Yeah, I think this is Jordan, where there's the most pins so far.
Yes.
We have Austria, Canada. Nice to see more popping up. And this is something that we always really enjoy and like about our trainings. I mean, they are online. And of course, there's also something nice about having trainings in person, but with this online format, it allows us to really have participants joining us from all over the world. Zhang is in the middle of the sea. That's okay, you can join us from the ocean. It's a bit small, so yeah, I can appreciate that it's a bit difficult. I can also add myself, although that also looks like I'm joining from Belgium. Anyway, I think most of you were able to pin yourself, right, Nadia?
Yes.
Do you want to go to the next question? So, what are the impacts of climate change in your surroundings or in your country? You can either just enter a word or a sentence, and you can also put in multiple responses. And again, if you cannot join us on Mentimeter, feel free to put it in the chat, and then we can add it to the cloud that will appear as soon as you start putting in your answers. Lots of water-related impacts, so either shortage of water or excessive rainfall, droughts, floodings, but also higher temperatures, heat waves, wildfires, delayed rainfall, so maybe a shift in seasons, rainy seasons in this case. What else is there? Longer, warmer seasons. Agriculture losses due to droughts, I guess, or excessive rain and changing of seasons. What else is there? Food security is impacted by climate change for sure. Livelihood losses. Urban heat islands. So that is more in the urban context. Lower harvest. It's nice and a bit sad to see it all on the screen. And also showing the urgency of, well, why we need to advocate for policies addressing the impacts of climate change. Is there anything else that people are missing that's not yet on here that they want to add? I don't see anything in the chat, so I think most people are able to put it on Menti. Nadia, shall we go to the next question? Can you name any examples of climate-related policies in your local context or in your national context or even globally? This can again be in your local community, can even be within the organization you work for. It can be at the national level. One example I can think of is that these recent years, I think in the Netherlands, well, it's not really a policy, but we've been asked to reduce our water usage because the summers have been quite warm and there's also been less rainfall. Green Ghana Day. I want to learn more about that. Can you share about the Green Ghana Day?
Yes, do I need to talk or should type in the comment section?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Should I
Yeah,
talk or should type in the comment section?
No, please jump in.
Okay, so basically it's every 3rd of June. The government supports every household with at least 5 trees to plant. So every population, every Ghanaian is supposed to plant at least 5 trees, and it's supported by the government. I think we've been doing it for over the past 5 years.
Amazing.
Just to get the country green and reduce the temperatures. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. I learned something new. What else is here? Who wrote down renewable energy strategy? And can you say something about it? Or so I see it a few times, renewable energy law, tax-free renewable energy. Who can share something on that? Don't be shy. I can't call you out because I don't know who wrote it.
Well, I can share on the renewable energy law, which is a law in Austria. I think it came into effect last year. It's about changing the heating, particularly in buildings, to non-fossil fueled energy sources. And there's a lot of funding for those who want to change. So it's cheaper to do so.
Yeah. Okay, great. So to use different energy sources and to make it more sustainable. And Ali, thank you also for adding in the chat renewable energy strategy. It is a framework to increase a country reliance on renewable energy sources. And that is in Lebanon. Okay. Yeah. Great. Well, we will be learning a bit more about, let's say, the Paris Agreement, which is the biggest one here on the screen in the course, and also some other international or global policies. 10 billion tree tsunami. Who can explain what that means? Is it one
Am
of
I
our...
audible?
Yes.
Yes, I'm Sadaf from Pakistan. Actually, I wrote this was a thing which introduced, so that was a more on a campaigning side to plant the trees. So it is not exactly the policy, but it was a campaign. So I think so. I mixed it up.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's a good example of a campaign. Thank you for sharing. Interesting to learn more about this. And I can see we're also joined by Marlene, our colleague. Marlene, do you quickly want to introduce yourself before we move on? And you're coming in at the right moment because we asked everybody to share examples of climate-related policies in their local context, and we learned more about Green Ghana Day and the 10 billion tree related to the tsunami. I hope you are able to come in, Marlene.
Hi, Dana. Sorry, say again. I missed your question. Sorry.
Hi, would you maybe introduce yourself, Marlene? We already introduced you on the slide, but happy that you can also join us. So do you quickly want to tell us who you are?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. And hi, everyone. My name is Marlene Achoki. I work with the Care Climate Justice Center as the Global Policy Lead Climate Justice. And I'll be one of the facilitators for the first module particularly. So I'm looking forward to engaging with you all during that session.
Great, thanks, Marlene, and happy that you managed to join us. Okay, Nadia, I think we can end the activity. Margarita, can you bring up the slides again? And there's a few other examples coming in the chat. National Strategy for Adaptation to Climate Change and Jordan's commitment to emission reductions. So we can move to the next slide, Margarita. Because what we would like to do next with you is we're gonna pair you up and you can join a breakout room to get to know each other a little bit better in pairs. You will have 8 minutes for this, 4 minutes each, to exchange names, where you're based and where you're working and what your position is, why you're interested in climate change and learning more about climate advocacy, and one fun fact about yourself. And then at the end, you'll come back to the main room and we would ask you to share something that you learned about your partner. And then we will do one other round where you'll be assigned to somebody else. So you can also get to know another person. And Nadia has prepared the breakout rooms, so you should soon see something popping up on your screen. And if you click on it, yeah, you'll be put into the room with somebody else, and we'll put the questions in the chat. And hope you have fun getting to know.
Yes. Yes, I have to assign one group with 3 people because we have an uneven number. So yeah, you'll have a bit less time, but I hope that would work out for you well. So I'm going to open the rooms right now, and you should be able to join.
And I can see not everybody, some people are still returning to the main room. Welcome back. I think we have everybody back now in the main room. I hope it was nice to connect with a peer. Who would like to share maybe a fun fact of the person they talked to? Or you can also share your own, unless you want to. Well, maybe you want to keep it. You'll have to think of another fun fact then. But anyway, who wants to share something? Come on, we want to join in on the fun. Yes? Did somebody open their mic?
I can speak of Yaf and Vanessa.
Go
I
for
have
it.
two fun facts to share. So Yaf is learning French, and he's up to speed now to use it officially, I would say,
Excellent.
which is great. And Vanessa has 2 children or 3, no, 2 children, but they have 3 passports each.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a nice fun fact. Now I'm curious which other passports they hold other than the Canadian.
I remember the Canadian one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would assume as well. And Jaap, happy to hear that you speak French. We put you in a group with some colleagues from CARE Niger, so it will probably come in handy for some of the assignments. Anybody else who wants to share a fun fact of their partner? Maybe Abdul, do you want to share the fun fact?
Yes, Diana, I think I can quickly share. I was with Ali from Lebanon. He's an agriculture engineer. He's working for CARE as a climate and resilience officer on a project funded by AFD. Yes, our countries are facing approximately the same challenges about climate change. Me, I'm in Niger, in Sahel, a Sahelian country. Even though Ali doesn't know my country, he thought that it was Nigeria. Yeah. So now I think Ali, you can check on the map and you can see where is the Niger. It is in Sahel, a Sahelian country, and the country is really facing climate change effects for tens of years. Our households are facing directly the effects of climate change. So we discuss during the 8 minutes given to us around what we are doing. So yes, that is a brief presentation of what we discussed.
Excellent.
I don't know if Ali, if you want to add something.
No, it's enough, but I can introduce Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman is also an agriculture engineer, specialized in environment mainly. He is working with Care Niger Burkina, if I spell it صح, true. He is working on an emergency project there. So yes, that's it.
Great. Thanks. Thanks so much. Well, we'll put you in a breakout room again with somebody else. And of course, you can also talk beyond the things that we posted here. Because maybe you feel like now you already know Abdul and Ali and Vanessa and Jaap. Anyway, just use the time to get to know each other a little bit better. I think, Nadia, you have prepared the rooms.
Yes, and I hope you get to speak to someone else. And in case you're in the same room or in the room with the same person, feel free to come back to the main room and then we will reassign you. But it should be good. So I'm going to open up the rooms again.
Nadia, I think you may have to assign Jaap. It says on a
Oh, I haven't assigned Jaap. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. I'll assign you to room number 1.
And then you can also pause the recording.
Yes, I'll just wait for everybody to join.
Welcome back. We're waiting for a few more to join us. Okay, I think we have everybody back. I hope you had enough time. Can we hear about one more fun fact? Or, yeah, Sadaf?
I was in a room with Suhaib from Syria, but he's working in Jordan, so he's working remotely. Actually, there are 2 fun facts. He can speak some of my local language, Urdu, and he spoke few sentences, which was quite surprising for me.
Yes.
And the other is that he told me a quite funny story where he was in an office and somehow he wanted to call the canteen or cafeteria, but he called by chance his boss and he said, "Bring me a coffee." So he is quite funny person. I think so. These are 2 interesting things I came to know about him.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Indeed. Nice. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed talking to some other participants. We have just over 15 minutes left where we just want to run you through a few of the practicalities and also allow you a chance to ask some questions. So I'll pass it to Nadia.
Yes, thanks, Diana. We're going to move on to some of the practicalities because I know some of you might still have some questions about the logistics. I'll run you through the learning objectives. So the overall objective of this learning journey is that by the end of the training, you will have increased your understanding of the main advocacy tools and strategies. And it will improve your own advocacy and influencing work and teach you how to share that with knowledge with others as well, which is very crucial. So some of the other objectives are to become familiar with CARE's main climate advocacy tools and strategies, also becoming familiar with policy influencing in the climate change context at both global, national, and local levels. And finally, also to be able to integrate climate advocacy in your projects. So especially in making evidence stronger and helping improve impact. So those are the overall objectives. Can you move on to the next slide, Margarita? Yes, so now it's time for a quick poll. So on the image, you can see all the modules that this learning journey will cover. And we're curious to hear from you, which one you're looking most forward to. So while you are in the breakout rooms, you already have a slight suspicion on which one will be most popular, but you never know. So I hope you can see this right now. And I see that people already started voting. So I'll give it a couple minutes. Okay, so far 8 of you have answered. We have someone else who voted. Okay, I think everyone has voted so far. I think 11 participants. Okay, I'm ready to share the results. And you should be able to see it right now. So as we thought, module 2 on the tools and tactics for advocacy and policy influencing is the most looked forward to with 55%. So yeah, it's interesting to hear. And then it is followed by module 1, which will open up on Monday already and is facilitated by Marlene. That's on advocacy and policy influencing in climate justice and resilience. So yeah, it's good to hear that this is something you look forward to learning more about. So thanks a lot for sharing your answers. And let's move on to the next slide. So here we want to give you an overview of how our modules are structured. So every module follows a similar structure. So it consists out of learning resources, and these can be in different formats. So we try to have it as varied as possible to cater to different types of learnings and preferences as well. So this can be in the form of a pre-recorded webinar, online courses, videos, podcasts, interviews, and some readings. Then after you have gone through these learning resources by yourself, you have the chance to implement what you have learned through an assignment. And these can be an individual or a group assignment. So that depends a bit on the module, but we try to have a mix of individual and group. So for the group assignment, we have assigned you to a group already. And we already received some really nice group names. So thanks a lot for those groups who have submitted their group names, and those who have not done so yet. We can give you until the end of this week to be able to do so. Yeah, you can find them in the tracking sheet. I can also share the link in the chat again, so you can know who's in your group. And please be responsive to each other. Feel free to also create your own channel of communication. So this can be in the form of a WhatsApp group or via email or any other any other means you prefer and agree upon. Yes, I'll share the link in the chat right now, so you should be able to see who's in your group and also their WhatsApp number, so you should be able to reach out to them as well. Then every module also has a debrief webinar. So it's a webinar like the one we've done today, which takes place on Wednesday on the second week of the module. And there will also be a recording available. So in case you cannot attend a webinar, you can always look back at it later. Then there's also a quiz as part of every module to test your knowledge. And we end the module with a module review. So we're also really keen on knowing what you think about the modules. And yeah, feel free to share your feedback as well. Could you move on to the next slide, please? So here are some important dates for the learning journey. This overview is also in your learning journey calendar, which you can find on Curator, but I also have shared it before via email. And I've also sent out the calendar invites for the live session. So they should be all in your calendars. And as I said before, every module is open for 2 weeks. And the learning journey ends on the 1st of June. Could you move on to the next slide? So some more logistical and administrative information. At the end of this learning journey, you also have the chance to earn a certificate of completion. And we have a couple of requirements to be able to achieve this or to get this certificate. So we ask you to join at least 4 out of the 7 webinars. So that's a bit over a half of the webinars that we have for this learning journey. Then to submit 5 out of the 6 assignments and 5 out of the 6 quizzes, and also gather 80% of the total experience points on the platform. So this platform makes use of gamification. So if you make comments on particular objects, you can get points. And there's also a video on how to use Curator on the platform in case you have any difficulties or you need some more guidance. I'm also very happy to help, so feel free to reach out if you have any issues with that. Yes, moving on. We also have this tracking sheet, which I already shared in the chat. So here we will be manually tracking whether you've submitted your assignments, attended the webinars, and have done the quizzes. So we try to do this on a weekly basis, so it should be more or less updated. But yeah, no, it's done manually. So when you submit, it doesn't automatically get updated already, but we'll be doing this weekly. Yeah, next slide, please. Yes, we also have a WhatsApp group. As I've mentioned before, this group is has a purpose of enabling you to connect with each other, but I will also be sending out some reminders there. However, our main platform will be Curator, so this is really meant for some reminders the day or the of the live session. But you can also always send me a message on WhatsApp if you have any questions about something. Then we also have a LinkedIn account you can follow for the latest climate news of CARE. So feel free to give us a follow if you want. I'll also be sharing the link in the chat, so please bear with me. Next slide, please. Yes, I see we still have a couple of minutes left, so you might have some questions. So this is your opportunity to ask them, and we'll be happy to answer them. So if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or also unmute yourself or put your question in the chat. Do you have any questions? It can be about Curator. Yes, Najati.
Thank you, Nadia, for the wrap up and the brief conclusion. I have an admin question. So would we expect that all of the upcoming sessions would be recorded just in case if we, for any urgent reasons or like work commitments, miss any sessions, that we could catch up and inform you that we completed watching the session and then like any assignments that would follow that?
Yeah, so we record every session, but for the certificate, we do require you to actually join the session. But if there's an emergency, we can allow for some flexibility. So yeah, we can always discuss that. So yeah, don't worry about it if you can't miss a session a couple of times. That's no problem.
Thank you.
No worries. Any other questions? I see a question in the chat as well about the timing of the session. And I'm aware for those who are fasting and doing Ramadan that it is not the most convenient time. So we also have flexibility on that. It's really difficult to try to accommodate everyone, being such a global cohort, of course. So we can get in touch about this bilaterally, and we can discuss on how to go forward about the timing of the live session. So thanks a lot for your understanding as well on this. All right, are there any more questions? No? Okay, then I think we can move on to the next slide. And of course, if there's any questions, you can always reach out to me. Yes, now it's time for our group picture. So I would kindly like to ask you to put on your cameras. Let's take off the captions as well, so we can take a picture. Margarita, could you please stop sharing your screen so we can take a group picture? All right, it's so great to see you all, and thanks for staying on until the very end. I'll be taking a couple of screenshots. So hold your smile, hold the freeze for a couple seconds. So 3, 2, 1. I think my laptop froze. So I found the picture, but really just out with
You're breaking up a little
this.
bit, Nadia. I hope did you manage to take the screenshots, or should we do this?
Yes, my laptop is freezing. So can you please take a picture for me?
Yeah, I just need to change the view because I can only see you now.
I can do it otherwise.
Okay, yes, please.
Okay.
If you just take a screenshot a few times.
Yes. So 1, 2, 3. 1, and I'm gonna quickly make another one. Okay. Now 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then we have just a final slide on the next steps. I think Nadia are you back or still? I can also do the next steps. If Margarita, you can just quickly pull up the last slides.
Yeah, sorry, my internet is dropping off. I'm sorry.
No worries. Glad it only happens at the end.
At the end.
Okay, this is just our last slide on some next steps. So Nadia already mentioned it, but on Monday, the first content module will open on advocacy and policy influencing in climate justice and resilience. So you can start by going through the content from Monday on. If you completed everything in the welcome module, because only then you can access the next module. Please upload your learning journal and edit your profile on Curator. 3 of the 4 groups already sent their group name to us, so that's great. And connect with each other as well. And if you manage, we encourage you to do the social risk analysis. This will be helpful when you start working on group assignments. That's it for today. We really enjoyed seeing you all, having you all, and getting to know you a little bit better. And we look forward to connecting again in 2 weeks. And don't hesitate to reach out if there's anything meanwhile. Thanks so much, and see you in 2 weeks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.